outside today. It just might rain. I just might get my wish, and it just might rain today. I'm looking at these trees because I'm wondering if they like magnolia trees. Can y'all see? Like the buds on the. You see that bud? Is that a magnolia? Is that a magnolia tree? I like magnolia trees. Anyway. But I can't tell if that's a magnolia tree or not. Uh-oh. We got Popo early in the morning, child. We got Popo early in the morning. I don't know what's going on. But one of the guests is talking to the Popo. Sometimes they get a little crazy around here, y'all. Anyway, I got my coffee, or my refill, I should say. And I'm going back in. It's a lot going on. And it's a lot that's been going on. I'll fill y'all in later on all that. But for right now, I'm going here. I know I got my usual hoodie on and my got my boots and my black pants and stuff. But I swear by my hoodie and my Scully. All right, hold on, y'all. I'm going in. If there's interference with the videotaping, it's not me. Okay. Okay, back inside. I didn't have nobody here to clown me about going to the gas station to get my Colombian coffee. Oh. Let's see. Let's go out here and see. Be nosy and see what's going on with the Popo. I don't know. Normally when people call the cops around here, it's because of a domestic dispute, or somebody stole something, or some kind of there'd be some things going on around here, y'all. Some interesting things, but you know. But from the outside looking in, it looks like a really, really, you know, nice. Like I like all the green and the flowers and everything, which I guess are going to be dying soon since it's going to get cold outside. But yeah. So it's usually slow in the mornings. I already did the charts and everything for housekeeping. So it's kind of slow this morning. I'm just waiting to check people in, check people out, extend people's reservations. I'm having some issues with that, but we'll see if it gets fixed. Other than that, just answering phones. What's on the wall? Other than that, just answering phones, trying to get sales. But it's Wednesday. I wonder if it's going to rain. It looks really, really cloudy today. I don't know. How y'all doing today? Jesus Christ is Lord. Yeah. Good. You good? That's good. Anything? Why is the message retracted? Why did you retract your message? You put Jesus Christ as Lord. Why did you retract your message? You don't believe it, Mr. Bible Institute Ministry 109? You don't believe it? You don't believe your own words that you wrote? I do. That it's a force of habit. It's a force of habit to retract your messages? Why? Why? But why do you retract your? So you just did it again. So you put Jesus Saves, Mr. Bible Institute Ministry 109. You're going to retract Jesus Saves too? You know what? You retracting it means that you don't believe your own words. That was a beep in the background, confirmation. Yeah, you don't believe your own words. Because most of the times when people write something, if they delete it, it means they either change their mind or they don't see it as true anymore. So everything that you're writing, you don't believe. You're just writing it. I'm waiting for you to retract Jesus Saves. You delete all messages? All messages? Are you a scam artist? Are you a scam artist? That sounds like something a scam artist does. Scam artists delete all stuff because they don't want a trail. They don't want a trail following them so they can continue being corrupt and criminal. So are you a scam artist? Are you corrupt? Are you a criminal? I mean, because that's just what I've seen, like on TV and stuff. You learn a lot from Law and Order. I actually had a part in Law and Order. They were shooting an episode of Law and Order at the World Trade Center in New York. And I was in a few of the scenes there and met some of the stars and stuff. So it was quite interesting. Have a good day, Sherlock Holmes. I must be right. You called me Sherlock Holmes. I take that as a compliment because I must be right then. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song? You got life all figured out, child? Nobody has life all figured out. Nobody has life figured out. Nobody. We just here to move forward. Here to learn, to teach, to understand. You know, nobody has life figured out. Why is everyone from New York so damn rude? I don't think everyone from New York is rude. I think people from New York, it's like Alicia Keys said, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. It's a concrete jungle. You know, sometimes when you grow up kind of hard, it makes you a certain way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're rude. Shit, it's New York. If you want to get into East Coast, let's talk about West Coast. There's a lot of rude people on the West Coast too. There's a lot of rude people all over the place. So I wouldn't say New Yorkers are all rude. You meet rude people everywhere. Maybe Taylor Swift 22. What's yours? Taylor Swift 22? Why does that sound familiar? Taylor Swift's have some good bops. I like Taylor Swift. I think she's a cool chick. Bible Institute Ministry 109 wrote, Jesus is my Savior no matter what you say. I know He loves me and is my Savior. Rather, I delete message or not, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So then why do you delete it then after you write it? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Look, you literally retracted Jesus Saves. So you're like a walking, what's the word I'm looking for? Look, in the whole message that I just read, you just retracted. You don't believe anything you say. What's the word I'm looking for? You're a walking, talking. I can't think of the word. It's not coming to me. Watch it come to me later. Team Camilla. Who Camilla? Who Camilla? Who Camilla? Judgmental hypocrite. Oh, I'm not judgmental. I mean, we all judge. I take that back. See, you see how I just retracted that, Mr. Bible Institute Ministry 109? I just retracted that. You know why? Because it's not what I meant. It's not what I believe. It's not what I deem to be true. So I just retracted, I deleted, I redacted what I just said. Everybody judges. We all judge. A person could stand right where I'm standing and look at somebody walking by and be like, ooh, she looks so dirty. Or, ooh, she got missing teeth. Or, ooh, she might be homeless. Or, ooh, she this and she that. Or he this or he's that. People judge all the time. And they also assume. They assume all the time, too. They assume they know. They assume. So you can call me a judgmental hypocrite all you want to. It sounds like you're getting mad because I'm telling the truth. If you mean what you say, you wouldn't delete it. You wouldn't retract it. Camilla? Who is Camilla? Who is Camilla? Super duper dog lover 123. I love dogs too. I love animals. You mean, there you go, Kamala or Trump? Child. I mean, I think it's issues with both. It's faults on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think any candidate is going to be flawless. We're all flawed, right? So from what I've been seeing so far, what I've been researching, right now I'm with Trump. Right now I'm leaning Trump's way. You know, and I have my reasons. So Jesus is the only way to heaven. I am not ashamed of my Savior. Jesus is everything. You are ashamed because you keep deleting what you say about Jesus is your Savior and the only way to heaven. You keep deleting it so you don't believe it. You don't believe this. If you believed it, you would not delete it. Why America was best when Trump was president recently with Biden and Harris. Which, you know what? When Trump was president, he did do his job with securing the borders more than the Biden administration has done. They actually did the complete opposite. When Trump was president, he also allowed a lot of small businesses to allocate funds for their businesses. And the great thing about that is he didn't discriminate against people for race or anything like that. He allowed people fair opportunity to get a leg up. And I think a lot of people of all races appreciated that because, you know, well, it's true. It's true. Living was easier and I got paid more. Under Donald Trump, living was easier and you got paid more. It probably was. And just the fact that he said that he's not going to, like, I'm looking at a diner right now and I'm sure these waitresses in here, they get their tips deducted from, you know what I mean? And Trump made a stance that when he becomes president again, that he's not going to allow people who work in restaurants to have their tips taxed. And I think that's dope. I used to work at Starbucks and any tips we got always were taxed, unless it was like in cash tips. But if it was like digital or whatever, they were taxed always. And so I think he understands that people that works in fast food restaurants and people, you know what I mean? Every penny counts, right? Literally. So the fact that he says that he's not going to tax tips when he becomes president again, I think it's pretty dope. And the fact that Kamala Harris jumped on the Trump train to start, you know, promoting the same thing on the campaign trail speaks volumes about his policies actually being good, because literally everything Trump began saying, Kamala was starting to say the exact same thing on her campaign trail. She was just pulling from his talking points. So when you see stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, so do you have a blueprint for your presidency, or are you just going to do what Trump says? Or are you just saying you're going to do what Trump says because it sounds good, because he seems to have more people following him, so that'll help you get in the White House. And then when you get in the White House, you do the opposite of everything that you said you would do, that Trump said he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. If I change the channel, my comments will be erased anyways. Oh, yeah? No, I think the comments are saved. Like, I know people, like content creators, I'm sure like when we end our lives, we can go back and we can look at stuff. As far as I know some people said that they do that. I haven't done it personally, but I know some people say that they've done that. But why are you even harping on it? If what you're saying is true, why is it bothering you? I triggered you, didn't I? I triggered you. I triggered you because you don't believe that. I don't think you believe that. Trump, yes. Jesus is Lord. I'm leaving Jesus so much in your chat now. I'm offended. I will now make you a tube a Christian channel. What? I will now make your YouTube a Christian channel. No, you're not. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. That's not a Christian channel. You start a Christian channel. It's the Bible Institute Ministry 109. You start a Christian channel. This is not a Christian channel. Hey. Oh, okay. Okay. You will not make it a Christian channel. There's a lot of anger built up over gas prices and food prices. I think he can change it, and I think she doesn't care to change it. They just passed a bill for gas prices to go up again. Well, there you go. You got your answer. You got your answer. They've been in there for what? Almost 4 years now? If they were going to change it, don't you think they would have changed it by now? You're not on video or anything. Don't you think they would have changed it by now? And that's another talking point of Trump's when he said that he would bring down the inflation. He would bring down the pricing of everything, right? So, if she's been in there for almost 4 years, why is it not changed? Why are you saying that you're going to change it now? Again, these are just talking points to try to get people to come that way. And then once you're there, it just flips. They flip the script. Okay, now you reject Jesus, hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite because I never said that I was against Jesus, or I never said that I was for Jesus. I never answered that question. You're answering it for me. Basically, you're putting words into my mouth. So who's the hypocrite? If gas goes up again, I'm doing buy a bike. Buy a bike. Well, I mean, hey, look at it this way. You'll get good exercise. Those legs and those glutes will definitely be right and tight. Okay? So it's a positive to come from bike riding. You know what I mean. I know cars are good to get around in, but if you got to think positive about it, at least exercise is a positive thing. You're not worthy of Jesus Christ. You deny him before men. Again, you're putting words in my mouth. So you can believe what you want to believe. Talking points and buzzwords. I got you triggered, atheist. Oh, I'm not triggered at all. At all. Atheist. Definitely not an atheist. Definitely not an atheist, but okay. Again, you're putting words in my mouth. You're placing labels on me. It's a certain kind of people that like to do that a lot. Place labels on people. Who said, who the hypocrite now? Facts, you said it, sister. You said it. Who the hypocrite now? I don't know what you're talking about. That Bible person is wild. You know what? It's funny because a lot of people say that church people are wild. A lot of people say that, overly religious people are, kind of cray-cray or whatever. But I don't think it's anything wrong with, Look, you believe what you believe for whatever the reason you believe it. And a lot of times people believe the way they believe is because it was conditioned into them to believe it that way. They were grown up into a system, or they were grown up into a cult, or they were grown up into a coven, or whatever you want to call it. They were grown up into something, an institute. They were grown into something that conditioned them, that groomed them to be the way that they are, to think that the way that they think. And a lot of times people just continue to follow it is what they were born into. They don't seek to look outside to other things to see what if and what it could be, or what it's about, or what, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of stick to what it is that they've been conditioned to, or what they've been groomed to. So, you know what I mean? And, you know, to each his own. That's absolutely fine for people to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with religion. I kind of think that, to me, religion is kind of like just kind of separate groups of people who believe different things. And I think it helps them to like form communities of people. Like religion it seems like it just helps people to form community. Does that make sense? Like it seems like it helps people to kind of just like people who don't like to be alone, or people who don't think differently from the norm, or people who don't think differently from. So everyone who's in this group, these, you know, because there's different religions, so these different groups of people, they kind of all think the same, do the same, act the same, they're the same. And then when you have somebody from the outside coming in who's completely different, they stick out like a sore thumb, and then everyone in that community or group, they automatically gun for that person that's different from the group. They automatically want to attack them. They automatically want to scrutinize them. They automatically want to deem them as bad, or think that there's something wrong with them because that person sticks out like a sore thumb because they're not like everybody else in the group. Does that make sense? So, and I feel that's how I look at religion. It's just pockets of people and individual groups who believe whatever it is that they believe, that they were groomed into believing or conditioned into believing. And you have to be like them to be in the group. You cannot be different, because if you are different, you're automatically deemed as the other or something horribly wrong, which isn't the truth. Which isn't the truth at all. You know what I mean? But because it's almost like cultish. It's like robotic. It's like, because I've been a lot of places like that. I've worked a lot of places like that where, like, if you are different, baby, if you stick out like a sore thumb, it's just like, rah, 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 you know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, I'm just here to either do my job, or I'm just here to study in school, or I'm just here to, you know what I mean? But it's always like that. It's cliquish, it's groups. Even like in high school, there are cliques, there are groups, and if like the pretty girls in high school, right? Like, oh, you have to be a pretty girl to be a part of the pretty girl club, or the gangs, you know what I mean? Or you got to be rough, tough, and bad, and you got to be able to kick people's ass if you want to be in this group. And so that's how I view religion in a nutshell. Just groups and pockets of people in different communities who believe exactly the same. Who do, who act, who talk exactly the same. And if you are any different than what they are, they attack you for it. So, and if you want to talk about Jesus, baby, if you want to talk about Jesus, isn't that what happened to Jesus? Isn't that what happened to Jesus? If you want to talk Jesus, Bible Institute Ministry 109, isn't that what happened to Jesus? He was different. Why was he different? Because he was speaking truth, because he was kicking game, because he was out here healing folks, because folks were gravitating towards him because of his beliefs, because he was healing people, because he was, this great person. And religious motherfuckers in their group, in their community, did not like that, right? They did not like that, because they felt like people were glorifying Jesus and they wanted to be glorified. But the thing is that Jesus wasn't being glorified because he was pretending to be something that he wasn't. He just was, baby. He just was. And other people in those religious groups, they were pretending to be something that they weren't. And they attacked him because he was just being himself. Message, lesson, life lesson. You gotta learn them. When you learn them, then you gotta convert them into everyday life. Some shit come at a price, so pay attention. All right. Okay. The Jews snitched on him to the Romans. The Jews snitched on him to the Romans. You know what's funny? They call me Don. I like you. You know what's funny about that? I actually ran across this picture the other day, okay? I ran across this picture the other day, and it was a picture of the Romans, okay? And in the picture of the Romans, they had like their helmets on, like their armor and, you know, their little outfits and everything, but everybody in the group was gay. Everybody in the group was gay. You know what they call me, Don? I'm gonna post that picture on my community tab today sometime so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna post it on my community tab so you can see what I'm talking about. All the men were gay. The Romans, they were all gay. And maybe that's making some sense because when you look at the Roman Catholic Church and you Google how many pedophilia cases that are against the Catholic priests and the nuns, but you know, against the Catholic Church, maybe there's something to that. Because I literally just looked at this picture the other day and it was something from back in the day, and they were talking about the ancient Romans, and all of the men were touching each other and, you know, kissing each other. They were gay. Maybe it's something to that. And you said the Jews snitched on him to the Romans. Okay. So if the Jews are different from the Romans, because I know there are some Catholic priests who are against, like, you know, LGBT or whatever, and they don't stand for what is going on in the Catholic Church. And I know, like, you know, the priests or whatever is trying to make them, like, trying to convert them into being okay to marrying LGBTQ couples or whatever. But those specific priests are like, hell to the no. Like they're totally against it. They don't want it. And those priests that are against it are melanated. They're black. Just saying, they are. You can Google it. You can Google it. Like, they literally are trying to force them to convert them to marrying LGBTQ people. And the black priests are adamant. They're like, no. But they're the only ones that are against it. Everybody else is like on board. So it's interesting. That's interesting that you brought that up. The Romans snitched on the Jews. You know what they call me, Don? You are actually piecing together. You're helping me piece together some stuff, because you're saying what you're saying is making me remember things that I've read and things that I've seen. And it's allowing me to piece together some stuff. And doing that, honey, is just going to turn into another lesson that I'm going to have to do a video on and break it down with facts and pictures and image, you know, all kinds of things. They were gay 100%. They were, huh? The Romans. So then it makes sense of why the Catholic Church is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And what's crazy is the priest before this priest, that the Pope that's in here now, St. Francis, the Pope before St. Francis had to step down. And that was the first time that had ever occurred in the Catholic Church. A Pope has never stepped down in the history of the Catholic Church. But the reason why that Pope before St. Francis stepped down is because he was busted for being gay. And he preached against gay. He preached against same-sex unions. I mean, he preached against it, okay? I mean, you can Google the stuff that he would say about the LGBTQ community. And the whole time, this man had a whole boyfriend, pictures and everything. He had a young Italian dude. The Italian dude was younger than him, had dark hair. It was always by his side, baby. If you Google, I mean, you know, they might have cleaned the internet up of that Pope. I forget his name, but it was the Pope before the one right now. Because that's why Pope Francis is in the position that he's in right now. He had to step in because the other one had to step down because he was found out to be gay. And he had an Italian boo, a young Italian boo. He sure did, was always by his side. But I guess he figured nobody would figure it out because he always had different men around him and things like that. But baby, when that story broke, okay, it was years ago. I remember because I wrote on it. I blogged it. I have a blog, hoodtalks.com, and I blogged on it. And when I went back to my blog to pull up the article on this specific thing, and then when I clicked the reference that I had that was tied to it as proof, oh baby, the internet erased it, honey. They took it down, baby. They erased all the memory of that article. They don't want you to know what that article said. Why? Why? Because it's truth. That's why. People don't like truth. It was truth. So thanks for letting me remember, helping me to remember. A lot of holidays are based off pagan religions. That's why Santa Claus ain't real. That's why a lot of people don't even celebrate Christmas, especially like around here where I'm at. Like people don't put up Christmas decorations, and you don't see like in places where I guess they don't know. You know what I mean? They have like the Christmas lights, and they have like they celebrate it. Like they really, 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 really celebrate it. But like if you go to Santa Monica, it'd be dead in the doorknob. It's no Christmas festivities. It's almost like they know Santa Claus ain't real. Like they know the shit is bullshit. So it's just, I mean, in my opinion, because on the East Coast it's different. People, they really decorate and you know. But so I was really shocked. It was like a culture shock for me because I'm used to people really decorating and getting into the holiday spirit. But Santa Monica, it was like the holiday season was just like it was just another day. I mean, every now, like if you walk through the neighborhoods, you may see a house that has some lights on it or stuff, but for the most part, like businesses and companies and stuff, they didn't have none of that stuff up. But baby, they deck out for Halloween. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. They deck out for Halloween. You walk around, you see residences, you'll see all the Halloween decorations. You walk in Santa Monica and look at some of the businesses, they have big blow up skeletons and big blow up. You see all kind of Halloween decorations. They definitely celebrate Halloween in Santa Monica and in places around here. But Christmas, it's different. That's interesting. See, everything that y'all are saying right now is helping me to remember a lot of stuff that I've seen, that I've read. So yeah, they call me Don. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. It is. And Bible Institute Ministry 109 just retracted every last message he put in here about Jesus is Lord and Jesus saves and Jesus. But I thought you said Jesus was your everything. He ain't your everything if you deleting him like that. Right? Right? So that was an interesting conversation. Y'all had me on here for about a half hour talking about these things, I guess, and asked me about politics and all those things. I don't know if I guess y'all wanted to pick my brain to see what I thought about things. And so that's interesting. That's cool. That's okay. I like the questions. I like when people ask me questions. It's okay. Let me tell y'all something. It's also interesting because a lot of people won't ask me questions. It's almost like they're scared to ask me questions. I tell people all the time, if you want to know something, ask me. If you want to know something, ask me. I tell people this all the time, but they won't do it. They won't do it. And I don't know if they're just scared to hear my answer or whatever. I don't know why they would be scared to hear my answer, but they won't ask me. They'll rather go and talk to this person and talk to that person and talk to this person and talk to that person and make up in their head what they think my answer is, as opposed to just coming and asking me the question. I don't know why people do stuff like that. It's so strange to me. I'm like, if you want to know something, wouldn't you go straight to the horse's mouth? If I want to know something, I'm going straight to the horse's mouth because I don't got time to play around. If I want to know something, I go straight to the horse's mouth. So if you want to know something about me, why are you not coming straight to the horse's mouth? Why are you going to A, B, C? I'm sorry, I'm A. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And by the time it get back to, you know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. Let me see. Gay Christmas, otherwise known as Saturnalia, was an ancient Roman festival held in mid-December. Gay Christmas? Okay, they call me Don. That's something new to me. You teaching me some things. I never heard of Gay Christmas. Gay Christmas? Saturnalia? I might have to look this one up. I'm gonna have to research this. I like to learn. I like learning new things every day. So this is interesting to me. This is definitely gonna make me look deeper into what this is. Oh, I am. Trust me, I am. And when I come back on here, I might tell you about, well, I probably will tell you about it. Or I'll just do like a random video on it, and I'll post it on on this website or maybe on my TikTok or something. Otherwise known as Saturnalia, was an ancient Roman festival held in gay Christmas. Huh. And you know that when you celebrate these, you know, these holidays that aren't like real holidays or whatever, you know, all it does is give energy to like the cause. Like I read a lot about how things like holidays were bad, but they made them good. Like Valentine's Day, for instance. I heard that Valentine's Day was originally about a bloodbath. It was about violence and killing and death. But then they flipped the script and they made it into Valentine's Day so that they can still get the energy on that particular day for that particular thing that happened. You know what I mean? It's interesting. And I'm just like, damn. So I'm like, but this is my thing. If we're going to create holidays, why not just create holidays? Why do you take the bad and then try to camouflage? Oh, never mind. I just answered my question. Camouflage. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. I'm going to look it up. Saturnalia. I never heard of Saturnalia. I heard of Saturn, but I've never heard of Saturnalia. They can rename it all they want, but it doesn't erase the negative effects of the original. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But they rename it so that they can still get the energy for it, you know, because people are celebrating these holidays and they're thinking that it's something good, but it's not. It's something bad. So it's almost like giving energy to evil in a sense, you know? It's just kind of, it's fucked up, but it's fucked up. Yeah, it's like giving energy to evil. That's interesting. I appreciate y'all questions. And Bible Institute Ministry 109, you was just attacking me, boo. You was just attacking me. You was calling me hypocrites and all kind of things. And I'm like, well, damn, all I'm doing on here is talking. All I'm doing on here is talking. Saturnalia celebrated the rule of Saturn. The rule of Saturn. The rule of Saturn. I know Saturn is very powerful. Saturn is like work energy, right? It's like responsibilities or some shit like that. Saturnalia, but I've never heard of Saturnalia. Never heard of Saturnalia, but I would definitely look it up if they didn't erase it off the internet yet. Because you know AI is a whole other beast coming in to the internet, you know, trying to reclassify things and change things around so people don't really know what is what. No, the phone is quiet. Phone is not ringing. But anywho, I'm gonna look it up. Trust me, I'm gonna look it up. Because this intrigues me and I want to know more. I appreciate y'all questions. The father of Jupiter, who was imagined to have reigned in the mythic time of infinite pleasure. I heard Jupiter is a planet that brings in like celebrations and reward and stuff like that. That's what I heard. The father of Jupiter, who was imagined. But I'm gonna look up the other stuff. You sound like you are just a wealth of knowledge. They call me Don. I like that. Brain stimulation is a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I'm gonna get off, and I might come back on later. It's still pretty quiet though. It's not anything happening. There's nothing going on at all. Stuff doesn't usually get started until, I guess, housekeeping comes in, but It's pretty quiet. No more guests have come in yet. Phones are quiet. Do any of y'all live in Southern California? Or y'all from somewhere else? Well, it was nice to open your mind this morning. My mind was already open. I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded. A lot of people aren't open-minded. I'm in Illinois. Yeah? Okay. I've driven through there once. No, Chicago, I think I've driven through there. I don't know where the hell I was going, but I know I had to drive through there to get to where I was going. But, okay. Yes, my mind is always open. I'm very open-minded. I don't like encountering small-minded people because it's really hard to get them to see things with new eyes because their mind is so closed. But, so I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna get off and wait for something to pop. Thanks for your questions. I appreciate it. And thank you to all of y'all for listening this morning. I'll be back maybe later on today but definitely mañana, but maybe later on today. I have 2 eyes to look and 1 eye to see. Mm-hmm. You sound very deep and very spiritual. You also sound like you know a lot. And I dig that. All right.
Well, me talking in here.
No. Oh, because I'm used to you coming through here.
Thank you.
No worries.
It's okay.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Yeah. You always come to the front, Marty.
Huh?